Hey, good morning. Good morning. It's 11:05 East African time, and things are really moving so good here. A lot of things that are really coming up, and we're going to really analyze the market and find some good entries here on the currencies on the Forex market, and things are really going to be so much of interest. So things are really going to boil down here. Like things are really going to be very amazing. I have a lot of things packed in for you. So by just joining this, ensure the first thing that you do is to just like this live. That is the first thing that we do. Once you just join this, I'm just waiting for at least some more people to just join this, and then we proceed. Yeah. So ensure that you just do one thing. Make sure that you like this live. The moment you just join this, ensure that you like. It's really interesting. I want you to really like this. The moment you just join this live, it's really going to be helping. And the next thing that you can just do is to make sure that at least you comment on the chat. Let me just know who is here. I see the Royal Diadem is just waiting. We are back. Mohendra Peter is waiting. We are live. You trained London session. I think you just you that Daniel, you need to be here at least to know how is our entries. Yeah, these things about the London session, CG New York session, reversals, CG put this and that. Those things we don't do that here. So you make sure at least you watch this for a while. Then you're going to be really understanding what we really do here. Make sure the first thing that you actually do, Daniel, you see there's a button right down there. Make sure that you subscribe and turn on notification bell. The reason for that, anytime I'm live, let's say anytime, any day I'm live, I can just come live anytime. You actually be notified, and you're going to be live with us so that you understand our analysis, what we really project on. We combine a lot of things here. We trend news, we check economic calendar. There are a lot of things that you're really going to learn of this. Just stick here, you will just understand our analysis and how we normally go about it. Yeah. Amazing. I'm checking something here, and I want to give you some information here. Maybe we're going to shift the direction what you're going to buy. There's something here that is breaking, and this is really amazing. Now we are going to start, and I hope you're going to. Now we shifted, for those who are really new here, we changed from trading daily, and actually realized that it's not really easy to train like daily, not trending daily. I will normally train daily, but actually having the setup, I have the setup that I just needed to switch on and go live. But actually just going live every single day is really tiresome, specifically for a lot of things. It's really expensive, and sometimes I need to do my own things. So we've been trading for 2 months now, and what I can say, for those who have been here, it has been really amazing. I think the first stop loss that we hit was around on Monday this week. That was actually our first stop loss. 2 months, and that was really crazy. Anyway, things happens, of course. Even getting like 50%, like they say, we win today, tomorrow we lose. As long as you have the risk reward ratio, then you really need to understand that trust strategy really works. But for us now to win like 2 months straight, that was really amazing. That was really good. Now you can see on my side here, I'm checking one of these pairs here, and this is known as the WTI. Let me expand this. This is known as the WTI. So the WTI is West Texas International. Yeah, so that is the crude oil, that is the oil. And what you really need to know about this, I just need to explain this so that at least you may understand of where we're moving and what you might be getting from this. I really want to make this simple. This is really interesting. What I'm going to say here, you might not get it from anywhere. So right, so it's known as West Texas Intermediate. All right, it's known as West Texas Intermediate. That's why you see the WTI. This is actually a physical oil, and it must be produced, it must be transported, it must be stored, anything, even being shipped, just like normal oil that you normally go to the petrol station and get. Now 20% of this, like a certain percent of this oil is actually, let's talk about, of course there are some things that can actually disrupt either the supply and the demand for the WTI. So what happens, I'm talking about this because this is what we're really going to talk about here, because we're going to really find a good signal for oil. So I'm just building the foundation for, I know there are some beginners here, and also some people who want to really get clear of this, and maybe you have never traded the WTI oil before, then I think this is really good for you. Now, what about the WTI? Right, just produced in the Texas, US, and this is really interesting. Now, the next thing that you really need, this is actually a physical oil, just like the oil that we have, like petroleum that we really have in our country. This is just the same. This is just the same. It must be stored, transported, and all that. So that means, for example, when there is a political and geopolitical event that actually, you know, like you understand about these things, war, when there's bombings, all those things really happening. Of course, you cannot transport the oil, because when the country is burning, it's really risky to transport the oils, especially with the tanks, because you know, even the pipes, because you know, once those tanks actually get, you know, just a small heat, just like this, that is already a bomb. Or maybe the oil prices, because of the prices of it, WTI, people can actually hijack those tanks, and maybe, you know, a lot of things. When there is uncertainty, when there is geopolitical event, it causes the disruption and the supply of the WTI to really go down. Now, what is happening? There is this war that is going on between the US and the Iran. So I don't want to mention that because my video may be flagged. But you have seen all Trump is really doing about that, about all those events. Now, why does it really matter? Because we are talking about the US and Iran. There is a session known as the State of Hormuz. Okay, let me just get the name clear. Let me just get the name clearly here. Now, this is what you really have to understand. 20% of the world oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz. Is it Hormuz or Hormuz? The name, but actually the 20% of the oil prices in the globally actually passes through that strait, and it's actually found in Iran. You understand now? So when that really happens, of course, you know, they end up closing either those borders or the war escalating those areas, and you know, you cannot transport the oil when there is kuna vita on that front, right? So what happens? And you see is 20% of global wound oil prices. So what do you anticipate as traders? So when we experience something like that about the oil, what we normally do is we do just one thing. We anticipate the supply to go down. And of course, you know, we can't live without oil prices, because of course, you know, when the oil prices supply is low, the prices really moves up, and this is actually global. And what this causes now the price for the WTI to move up. All right, and now that is what you see. The prices are actually been moving up, like from this place here, where we end all the way the market touching 54, and now you can see we are up, and the price is still moving all the way to the top. This is really great, and that's how the market is really moving. Now, do we really have an opportunity for the WTI? Yes, we are going to look for that entry. Now, how do you combine this kind of news? Because number one, we are really going to be keenly observe on how this tension between the US and Iran is really going to be. And the more we really get close to this, the more the tension rises, the more you're going to see the prices rising. Right? Now, you see, there is some the WTI. I will just not mention the West Texas Intermediate or the full name. Let me just mention the WTI. Now you understand the meaning. There are a lot of things that can actually cause these things to happen just like that. Of course, this is very important, because number one, we can actually, you know, I don't want to go into details because there are a lot of things that we can really check on this. Also on the features on CME, on the features for the WTI, but I don't want to go into the details for this. Now let's just talk about it just like that and see, do you really have an opportunity for this? Now, what are we going to be doing here? We are going to be observing, number two, throughout the weekend. Is really going to be important, because if anything happens between tomorrow and Sunday, that is the tension between the Iran. You know, of course, you know what has been happening. The Iran just decided not to stop building the nuclear bomb, and the US is telling them, you know, you cannot build a nuclear bomb, because once you have this nuclear bomb, you are a threat to the world. Okay, so you know what? You're not going to do this. So that is what Trump is saying. And you know this, if they continue to do that, if the tension continues and escalate, of course, the war is going to escalate. And once the war escalates even more, the more you're going to see the prices reacting here, and the traders actually even buying the oil so hard. There is a time these prices here actually touched all the way to 94, not even 94, around 100. But you can see with the time, the West Texas oil actually been moving down, and this is really crazy. This is really crazy. Look at this. This is very simple. Now we need to combine. Remember, we need to combine between technical analysis and fundamental analysis, like, yeah, to just get a good entry for this market, specifically for this. Today I just decided, let's just start with this, because also remember, it normally affect the prices for the gold. All right, to affect the prices for the gold, because when there is tension, let me just tell you how it normally, this kind of war can actually cause the prices for the gold even to move up, because you're still even going to move to the prices of the gold, and now it's still going to react. Number one, when there is a war that is really happening, for those people who can remember about the World War I, World War II, there are a lot of things that were happening then. And if you ask me, am I going to keep money in the bank, or can I buy at least a gold? You know, for example, you can keep your wealth. If you have like 20 kg, like let's say even 10 kg of physical gold, if you have 10 kg of physical gold, you know, at least now that I think that is enough to preserve your wealth. Yeah, and you know, the price of gold, whether it is after even the war is over, you're going to sell, you know, it's like actually shrinking. You shrink your wealth into just a small piece, and you can actually preserve it well. The good thing about the gold is just like a stone. You can keep it anywhere, and it's redeemed very small. That is the most important thing. So anytime you hear there is war, there is a lot of things happening, tensions in the world, of course people have now to buy even the physical gold, and also that translates now to the prices that we have on the spot market, which is actually the price of the spot gold that we normally get from the market. And so people now start buying it. That is just one way of actually buying the gold. That's how now the gold moves. The other way is, for example, when the war escalates and we say the prices for the oil is still going to move up. Number two, if the oil prices moves up, of course, everything in the country, what happens to when there is the prices of oil keep going up? Of course, everything in the country keep moving up. Like the prices start rising, everything moves up, everything becomes expensive. And when everything becomes expensive, that means the price has increased. You're buying you need more money to buy the same product, right, with the time. What does that translate? It will translate to inflation. So once you see the inflation coming in for the commodities and those sort of things, it causes inflation. And inflation causes what? Interest rate hike, right? Now, that when you are going to see the price of also the dollar at least even trying to move. So that's why you see some people will run to the dollar as sometimes at the safe haven, and also JPY is somehow safe haven. I think it's more volatile compared even to the other pair. So that's what you're really going to be seeing with this market. Now, what do you see technically, and where is our best position to buy from this market? I want us to drive this line here, because you can see this market has absolutely been moving like this. This is very simple, and this is a very strong trend. Remember our analysis, that is where we start. In case remember we spot this kind of market move, of course this is very simple and strong. This is very simple and strong on daily time frame. How can you say this is not strong? Of course this is strong. Of course this is a strong one. This is a strong one. If I just duplicate this or clone the same and just put it down here, let me clone this. So we have started on this. So I want us to finish with the oil prices, and then we can move to the gold. And do we have really opportunity right there? Is my PC hanging out, or what is happening? Or let me reduce some of let me close some windows. I think I need to close some windows to get this. Yeah, I'm just closing the windows to get at least this not hanging, like it is lagging a lot. I don't know why. Quality, I may change. Yeah, I think now it is okay. Yeah, now you can click the setting button on your YouTube, and then go to advanced, and then put at least an 80. Yeah, just increase the quality, so you're going to see things clearly. Yeah, that's really good, and I think it is moving smoothly. We are moving smoothly now. Yeah, this is nice now. This is nice. That's good. Now this is how the market is really moving, and this is strong. So I wanted us to duplicate the same. That is clone. I wanted to clone this and come and take it. Let's see, do we have something happening across here? Yeah, look at that. This is how the oil prices actually been moving. This is how the price of the oil has actually been moving. There are a lot of details that I'm going to share here, so that at least you may also check on your site, and this is really going to help you to know specifically when we are going to experience a reversal. Because now, in case this market, it has actually touched all the way down, which is around this zone here, which is 55. And remember, the WTI actually come from far, because there's a time it was going at 80 bob, 80, and this is actually 2020. this was actually May 2020, and this is crazy because these prices have risen over short period, and the prices are really so up, and I think that's crazy. That is really good. Now we are trying to find opportunity. You know what is really going to happen here? So many people, like a lot of us now, buying because you hear the news is up and there's tension that is really going on, and then you proceed to buy. But one thing that you really forget is this zone here is very strong. These zones that we have here is very strong, and remember we are on the daily time frame. That is the first thing that you can actually check on this region here is very strong, like very strong. You can also look at this. These areas are very strong. This makes these lines to be very strong once you see something just like that happening to the market. So that is just very simple thing to note, that the prices have actually been dropping all the way just like that. And then after getting all the way down to this position that we have here, which is this level, now the next goal that you are waiting now, you can see actually this has acted as the support for a very long time. Like this is where we have so many people preferring to buy from these prices. Now we are going to look for the way, do we really going to keep all the way this momentum, because now the tension is really escalating and things are really moving so fast. And I think the reason even we got these prices moving down is because of, number one, also the inflation has actually been coming down in the US. So of course it's direct. Of course inflation, CPI is directly proportional to the prices of oil. So once you see the inflation coming down, of course also the oil prices are coming down, the CPI is really coming down, and that's why you see until the time we got the CPI, the prices actually been moving just like that all the way down to this level here. And I think you can even go to the exact date we got the CPI. I think should be, I think last week. You see the prices of oil and how they actually dropped all the way to these prices here. Maybe it was around this price here, maybe 58, and dropped all the way to 55. And now you can see the prices have really risen so fast within the short time. That is what you have been getting from this market moving here. And now since this is an area that has been tested a long time, and the market has actually, the buyers are actually many here around this zone here, is it really going to be the place that we are going to get the breakout now? Because once you get the market actually touching this region, this is a common sense thing, and it's very simple because we are still going to advance this to the light time frame things. You see we have already 4 touches on this trend here, and the market is yet to touch this, which is located around 67, which is actually very close on this. So if I were you, I know the tensions are there, I know the tension are there, and these maybe sounds a very good opportunity for us to buy at that zone or maybe at that level, but we can just still wait for these prices. Let's move to the 4-hour time frame so that we can adjust and analyze all this market from this area here and how it has been rising, because it's very important. Now you can see the market is really trying to reverse. So that means if you could have bought around 66, you may see the price is actually even dropping even further. And that's why we want to see where is our last price that we may experience from this market that has actually been moving specifically like this. Now this is what you get. For example, this market moved all the way from let's even take this market. I wanted to have like this all the way because it's going to push all the way. And remember, now this is one that we have here. So our interest in terms of the entry that we are going to have, that is how the market is realizing. And remember, the goal is absolutely to touch here. So in case you see the market forming like this, and for example, people who have been trading, for example, you're spotting the market is at 56 here, you got this market creating a breakout here. This actually got the market are shifting the direction. This is change of character. The market was moving now down, and you see now the market is really rising up. Now after spotting this high or here of 61, you could have actually bought around this zone here, which was very perfect opportunity for you, because look at this. It was very simple. A resistance becomes a support, and this becomes a buy opportunity even for you. There's another one here. So we're going to identify how these areas really became perfect, and you can see also we have another one here, which is absolutely this levels that we really have here. Then we have another zone that is located around this area here, which is this area here. Okay, so that's a zone that we have. So once you have marked these zones, it's really very important. Now you can absolutely know this is the area I'm going to concentrate on. Now let me increase the voice. You can just now know the prices or where you're going to concentrate on, or around this area here, which is absolutely this zone that we have from this level. So since the market actually rose from 62 all the way to 66, that is what we have on the 4-hour time frame. I think this might be in the last 2 days, and that is the news that we have been getting. I think this is the one that have been pushing these prices to these levels that we have on the top here. Now if I take the Fibonacci, remember we are now trying to know where this market is absolutely ending. If I take the Fibonacci around this corner here, it takes me to these levels that we have. Also remember this zone that we have around here. So this is indeed at least this. The reason I'll be considering this is because at least there are some buyers here, good momentum. There was some buy orders here. This is important. There is rejection here, and that is what you're getting from this market. So that is really perfect, and that fills the 16 the 50 retracement line, and the price here is absolutely 63.7. So you see now the important thing that really needs to align. So we're going to spot between these three areas, 1, 2 and 3. So these are very important areas, but specifically the 63 and also 65. Mostly this area here, which is 663, around that area here, and also 65. So those are areas now you need to know. Is this really going to be a buy opportunity? And if you buy, of course, you know this area here is really going to, because this trend line is really very important. Now you're going to be very cautious, because maybe that is going to be where you reduce your stop loss, or a place where you're gonna actually have your TP just like that, because the prices can actually hit that and fail to break. Or of course it normally happens, some people are really going to remove their orders, and there may be some sellers are going to sell at that zone, and you may see the prices actually just moving slightly back all the way. You can see now how simple it is, like just to trend these oil prices, because now they are moving up. So you just wait for the prices at least to move down to these levels, and then that is really going to help you so much. Now I want us to take one thing here, which is this level, and put it all the way up, all the way up there. Uh, 68. Look at this. This is where we have. This is I wish maybe I could have written the names here, you could have seen. So the level that I have, this line here is known as VAH. This value area high. This is POC, point of control, and this is volume area low. That is where we have actually the volume pushing these prices. this is where we have these unders and the prices are really good. So spotting from this zone that I've drawn, this area here might actually now be where the prices are really going to jump when we actually hit these levels around this area here. Now what I'm going to do in this corner here, I'm just going to slightly drag this down here, and we just understand one thing, is that this prices is really going to be moving towards this corner here. And since now we have so many buy orders around this area here, I think even more than this area here, because I see there are some sales orders around this area which can push the market all the way down. Now we have a possibility now for this market to keep moving down before we move up slightly, and I'm going to, which is really going to be 64 all the way to the top. That is going to be my first buy. But in case these markets drop, because this is 64 point, this is 64 and this is 63, so that is 100 pips movement. Let's see, 100 pip movement. So that is going to be my buy opportunity here. The reason we are going to do this as swing traders is because this becomes a very good opportunity for us to buy. The tension, the geopolitical event support that level. Geopolitical event between Iran and the supply, of course. This war is really not going to end soon, because I know the Iran are really not going to retaliate. They're not going to say, we are going to solve, we have won. This war might actually escalate even more. So make sure that you really fall on that. So when you see the prices falling at least to 64.8, which is located around this area here, and we have seen this where going to be possibility, at least now you're going to see the lower prices, at least slightly below 65. Slightly below 65, that is going to be our buy zone, and as well when the price is forced to that. So those are going to be my gold entry point that I'm going to have in this market for long-term buying from this market as the price now tries to fall down. So that is my long-term plan for WTI as this tension just continues. The only thing that is causing these prices to behave like that, I know the market or the prices could have actually skyrocketed specifically for the WTI, is because of specific thing we have just discussed here, which is just one thing, which is the inflation. So if the inflation is 2.5%, remember the inflation 2.5%, what does it mean? 2.5% that we got, I think, is it this week or last week? 2.5%. And for if you've been listening to the poll, Powell himself, he was just saying that our goal is to take inflation at least to 2%, and you realize that it was from 2.7% and getting it to becoming all the way to 2.5%. That is really crazy. And that you see now, we're saying the oil prices and directly correlation to them higher prices, and that you see now, once you now see the inflation coming down, of course the oil prices has really to move all the way down. And if this tension is really going to cause the prices of oil to move down, in case, maybe what I'm saying is, in case the tensions and the war continues for a very long time, you're going even to see the inflation translating to that, maybe rising up and sort of things really happening to the market. So that is what we have. Our plan is now, when this market comes to these levels, we are going to buy, and we're also going to buy at those levels. The reason you have to buy on this, because this market actually might be touching this area here. It's really perfect. We have so many buy orders across this area, and we might jump. The other reason for buying across this area is why we have a Fibonacci for 50% retracement, and also that is a very good level as well. So those two levels, in case you see the market scale in, buy 1 point here. That is what I'm just advising here, so that you're not going to place all your eggs in just one basket, like one price here. So this is a region, and then we have another region across this corner here. So my starting buying point will be around 65, and then also this one will be 64. So I start buying from 65 and 64. So those are the zone. Just make sure that you align them on your PC or your where you're analyzing this market from, and that is really going to be very interesting. Now we are going to move to the next pair, which is gold. I hope I'm very clear on that, and maybe there's a question to that. Let me check. Wow. I think we are now done with oil prices. Any question I'll be answering later. So if you're joining this, make sure that at least you like this live. I don't know why please just forgive me, my laptop is overheating. I don't know why. My computer here is lagging. It's lagging. There's some lagging. I see the price is lagging, and I really don't understand. Let me remove a camera here so that at least we see whether it's going to. Hey, what's up? Ooh, amazing, amazing, amazing. Yeah, so that's what we have. The current price for WTI right now is 66,195. And I know some people, when you go to your broker, you're going to see different prices, but just depend, because right now I'm checking these prices from Black Bull Market. I don't suppose people will be using a broker like Oanda. You're going to see some prices, I think, different. When we actually check this, yeah, NYSE, so you're going to see different prices. But the one I'm just using here, that is what I'm getting. But you can still have the same analysis, and still we can have good thing. Can still have better things right there. So yeah, so currently that is the level that we have. You can just mark those areas. I'm just waiting, you just make sure that you work on that area. So this is one, that is 4 hour time frame that we have right there. And so this is a 4 hour time frame. So 4 hour time frame, we are really going to go. Let me expand. You can see it just like this. So that is what we have in terms of 4 hour time frame. That is what I'm really waiting to see. So we are seeing the prices might be trying to shift to the direction, like the market is trying to move towards the upper side. That is what can really happen to these prices for the WTI. What's else? Can we check on the gold prices or not really happening right here? Because also the tension, remember, can actually move the prices for the gold up. We are at 50.25 as we speak now. We're going to reanalyze this because today is on Friday. Don't forget, today we have the PMI. I'm going to mention that, not forgotten. Sijasahau bando. We are on the PMI. I'm going to give you some clues, and I'll tell you what to really happens around that area here. And Daniel is saying that I buy the MacBook. Now my laptop is actually high-end. It's actually even more than MacBook. I have a Mac. I don't really like MacBook at all, so my laptop is high. I don't know what's happening. It can handle multiple things, but I really don't know what's happening. I think I'm going to buy a tower. It's not even a laptop anymore. I need something server like that. I need a bigger one. I need a bigger machine here. I have several laptops, but I know they can't handle these. I have some other too, but they can't handle these. I don't like MacBook. What's happening to the prices of gold? We just want to do one thing, which is just looking. You remember what we saying? Once you open the chart, just look. Don't be afraid. Look at how the market is performing. That is the best thing. What is happening? What's happening to this to this market? What's happening? That is what you just look at, like what is happening. So let's start with the highest time frame, daily time frame. What is happening? Just looking on the daily time frame, you get a different vibe. You get a different vibe here. You get a different vibe. That is because you get a different vibe here. Remember, after feeling the gap that was created, I think almost this area here by this very big candle here, 51, and the market has still been struggling to break those zones that we really have. But look at this. This is the vibe that you have from this market. It's still trying to form things and trying to move up like this. That is what you are trying to do. We are trying here. He's trying to move. Look at that. We have been doing this, I think, for a very long time now. On this, saying that's how the market is trying to do. On our upper side is really trying to cover, and it is really taking a lot of time. It is indeed taking a lot of time. So by just check of things, that's how the market is moving, and that is absolutely very nice. And I think now still the market, what is happening on the futures market? Let's see the projection that we have. If I take this level here of 0.5, this takes me to 29, but this takes me to 29.4 at the end of the month, 29.8, 29.45, that 1.05, that 1.59. So there's a projection now and the change in the futures market. Many traders are really expecting these prices, but remember the prices that we have right now is 40.26. So 40.26, and we are really around this area. That means there's a zone here around 50.45 and 50.45. That is really very critical point, 50.45, and this means that the market might be ending to that zone. That is this area here around 45, which is this zone that we have around this candle here. You see this candle here, this level here, this is what we are talking about. This is where the market is trying. That is the level we are talking about. At this level here, the futures market, that is indeed what we are talking about. So it's just very simple for you now to see how the candles are really aligning, closing above each other and ending on that way. So anytime you're going to see the prices moving to that level, 50.47, that is 50.40, around 50.42, and now we might be getting the prices moving past that levels. You can see some news here which is very simple to getting the same. Gold above 5,000 as geopolitical drives safe havens demand. That is the market talk. Investing in gold for your child education or lending, what works for you does not work. So this is what you're getting. The political tensions are really going to move up the safe haven prices. So right now the price is 50.27. Sorry. So I move to 4-hour time frame, but this is how you get the trend of how the market is really moving. This was a perfect move, another one after forming this end, perfect move to this level, and I think we might be getting maybe the next price that we have seen it's around 52, which is 51, which is 152.05, but on a spot market it can absolutely be down, which is absolutely going to be like, I think, almost to this level. I'm going to see it. Well, once we switch to the lowest time frame, 4-hour time frame, yeah, that is what you really get from these prices here. This is a level that we are talking about where the market is really going to react from this one. For those who have been watching us, you know the prices that we've been talking about this area. If you go to our last couple of videos, like last week, you see us drawing this trend line, connecting just two lines, and we're saying probability of touching these lines that we really have here is only that we needed at least one more confirmation for us now to be very sure on the next move for where the prices actually might be moving, which sounds very interesting. Now the next setup that we're going to have here is the prices testing 40, this zone here, which is around 40. So we just expect the prices to come to 40 here. I know sometimes if you're not careful switching to full screen, you're not going to see the screen well, but that is it. That is what you really have for this level here that you have seen, 50.42. The market is really going to react that one. Now the reason you see the prices jumping all the way, moving to this trend, of which now I think it's now really confirmed because of the first touch we end here and another touch that we have at this level here, then this becomes so really nice. So all this movement that we are really getting from the market moving this way has already been ending. So remember the goal, that is what we normally say. If you see the market trending just down, that this is a minor trend, a minor trend. Like we have the major trend, and inside that one we have the minor. The minor can actually take you to the main point, like this one. Or this move that we are getting here was taking us to this level that we have here, and that's why you see after this now the market is indeed trying now to move up. And the next ending that we're going to have is the same of the ending that we have in case, and this ending for the buyers. This becomes an ending for the buyers because the market is really going to receive a lot of rejections once we touch this zone here, which is 45. So from this level here, 40 and 45, the market is going to receive bigger rejections once we touch that area here. Current price 30, the price is rising, so we are going to receive bigger rejection here. And the other reason this market reversed from this level here, of course there are some issues around this area here. The reason for that is going because of that level that we have here. Remember these zones here, so of course expect that to happen. You can see this is indeed very important, and you cannot really ignore such areas. So we're going to see it, and why so many traders have entered their positions towards that area here. When you look on a 4-hour time frame, these candles are really perfect. They have made quite good move. Specifically this, let's see whether we have any gap that has been left and the imbalance for the candles across this area. I don't think so. It's only this place here, but the market really jumped so good all the way to the top. We have this one, the market moving down. We have this candle that jumped all the way below this, and this ended up breaking the market up. And now we see the market that is now trying to move at the top, and this is the last price that we expect, which is around 50.40. And once you see these prices jumping to this level, of course you're going to see, once you touch this, the prices maybe trying to come again to this level, and we are going to probably to break up again. So this is the level that you're going to see. So you're going to see these prices going to rise from this to this. You see the prices moving this, and then we get to the market on the top here that is using on the highlight time frame. So that is what we can expect from the gold. So it is very close. That is 50 30 50 30 to that is just 15 $15 move that is just remaining to this market to move all the way to the top right there. Sometimes you need to be very patient, because yes, you can know the market is heading to that direction, but when you really compare the distance the market is really going to make, then of course you know that is not really worth it. Like the distance is there is really very small, the number of pips is very small. And actually we talk about the point. Remember that we don't really count pips in gold, not the currencies. That is a question normally I correct so many people. So I write down here and I'm going to put my entries. So I'm going to have the gold where I'm going to really try and fire across those areas. That is going to be very important here. Now let's see something else. Those regions, are they really valid? What is really going to happen? Allow me to do one thing. I want to take these prices from the top here. I now have values. Okay. I see. Okay, input here. Let me have delta. Yeah, so you can see what's actually happening here across this area here is that that is what is really going to happen. That is exactly what is going to happen at the top around our area here. Yeah, 50. So this is what's going to happen. So the market is going to rise up, yeah, from these areas that we have. Actually, this was a very good entry point. This area here was really perfect, and getting rejections, the market is going to be very quick to move all the way to the top. Jesus, very quick all the way to the top here, which is going to be, so you can just extend this slightly up. So this is going to be a selling point. So we are going to touch that. So we are at 29. We are at 29. So what's going to happen to this market is really going to buy all the way to the top. So delta. But if I were to buy, just wait for the prices at 50.22. 50.22. That in case maybe you're planning to have a short term buy 50.27, 27, 28. Yeah, but the prices come into this zone here where we have VAH and trying to come all the way, and once we get to this level again, which is this area here, the market is going to buy and break the upper zone towards the upper side. So those are kind of things I'm looking to. Okay. Yeah, so that is what's going to happen. So the price is rising, we are moving, we are going to move. So I just try to have a small buy here. Yeah, but my PC is really not doing well, so I'm going to do it on my phone. Mutidwandi, yes, to moving. We are up. This is great. I'm going to share some. Let's see whether my PC is going to open this. So once I see the prices approaching that area here, I'm going to short. I'm going to short here, and I'm going to focus. This is just a small distance to 517. My stop loss will be somewhere here. So that's what I'm going to do. So it's going to be triggered up there, and then we just move with it. This is for the day traders, not specifically for sio lazima to swing nayo. We can just do it like that. We can do it like that and it works. We can just do it like that. So that's what I have. I need to close this. So another one. So still we are going to move up all the way to 40. So these are going to be our entry point, which is around 50, 52, 53. That is where I'm going to have a small sell once the market touches that one. So I also have a small entry for buy here in case the market tries to move. I'm going to just slightly move with it on the upper side. So that is what I'm talking about. So I see here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to close the windows. You see what I'm talking about? So that is what we got from that trade, but I'm going to close it very quickly. 110. I'm going to focus more on the bigger move that is coming up. Yeah, so that is it. That is it. I close 112 here. Then we wait for the move, which is located maybe in the next $20 there. But if I see the price is trying to come down 35, I may have a small entry point. Let me close this window here because it's making my PC lag. Let's have it like that. So still waiting to see. When you see the top side, let's ensure that we close down. Let's ensure now we enter around that corner there. I'm still up. Oof. I don't know whether this one will focus. Yeah, but I'm positive on this. So 38. This was actually one entry at 29. So the one we just entered right there, 29. Yeah, this is really cool. 29. So if you have 29, what's happening to this too? So if you have 29, if you have 29, it's already 40, and we're going to move up. So let's just observe that area around for 50. I'm going to sell from 50 in case we just hit 50. So that position, I'm going to close it soon also. Still moving. Let me switch to 1 hour time frame. So once the market start hitting our zone, start selling from that area here, which is from this area here around this, I think this is 43, 44, all the way to 57. So I'm just going to scale in. That is entering as the market keeps moving up. That is the entry I'm going to have. Seems that we are getting very slow to get to the point that one, and then the prices are really back again. What is really happening? Are we not going to the place that we are really waiting for before this zone here? So I think we had already touched around 42, so we were just only remaining at least $3 for us now to have the first entry at the top, but the prices seems to have reversed from those areas. That's crazy. I'm expecting these prices to stay above 30, because if we get to this zone here, then I think things are really going to get crazy. That is around 20. I don't expect these prices to move slightly below that level. So we are going to check what is still happening. We are going to still monitor the pair. So we are going to still monitor the gold and how it is really performing. We want to see, remember we are also monitoring, starting with the WTI. That is what I want us to check. I want to set an alert as well for the WTI. Sorry. I want to set so remember so well what we talked about the WTI. So this is what we talked about. Western Texas oil. Don't forget about that. Don't forget about the setup. Don't forget about this setup. So this setup here, I'm just copy it. It's just, so this is a setup for Western Texas Intermediate, that is the WTI oil, and this is the setup for the gold, and that you're just waiting for it to move at least to this level here, 44, and we sell between 44 and 57. WTI we are going to buy as the prices moves down to 64 and 63. Those are buying zone, and that is going to be long term. That is what we are going to concentrate on. So we are going to be checking those two. Allow me to check some things here as we are waiting for these prices to move slightly up. So I'll just keep that. I'll just let me have that area here. So make sure that you just capture the, let's follow this area here, see how it's going to be. Then can we check on the PMI? Let's see on the PMI, because today the day we're going to get the PMI. So I really suggest that we can check on the PMI. When do we expect, and the causes it can bring, and the effect it can bring towards the gold, the dollar. That is really amazing. So we can check on that. What is happening? What's going to happen? It's amazing. We need entry. We need entry here. We need entry. We need entry. We need entry. We need entry before we just end this. So we have the PMI for other countries. That is Europe, British. All those actually moving down. That is UK. They are up 52, 53. That means the economy is really expanding in their country. So we have those countries having the PMI like moving up. The economy is really moving up. So the PMI normally measures, it's just very simple, but it's an extensive area because this is actually an early indicator for the inflation rate. But as well, it has some leading indicators. That's like there is some information that you can still use to know where the market is likely to move. Let's see. WTI is moving close. Is really moving down quickly. So it's really moving down. You see, now we are moving to the spot, and we start moving from 65. So my buying point is going from 65. So that is why I'm going to start buying WTI. So you see, if you could have actually bought from the top here, 66,600, then right now you could have lost a lot of money from that market. I remain patient with the gold. I remain patient. I'm just going to remain patient with that. I'm just going to wait. Patience just pays. No hurry, no hurry. We just wait and see what we're going to get. Because between those two, we're going to get a good entry point. We're going to get a very good entry point. So if this is your first time to join us today, make sure that you like below, and also make sure that you subscribe, turn on notification bell. You'll be notified anytime, every time we are here. So this is really great. I'm going to be telling you what PMI is, but not in so much details, because there are a lot of things that you can talk about here. Just kidogo tu. Now, what is PMI? Just simple, because I think I just taught this earlier. What is a PMI? How to just do it? Because this is actually a good indicator towards the economy, how it's really performing. Is it economy? Is it expanding or just contracting? So PMI is a Purchasing Managers Index, and Flash Services. This is an early indicator that we didn't get, because we also have another one that we'll be getting. We have composite of them actually be coming up. But we have the manufacturing and the services. Of course, this is very simple. Services in just like this, like teaching or services, the PMI, the expanding or contracting. We have the manufacturing side like fund, those ones. That's just a simple difference. Purchasing Managers Index. So this is the index that just shows how the economy is reading in terms of the services, transportation, cost of raw materials, everything just at production level. Purchasing Managers Index, that is the start of everything. So if you really want to know where the economy is actually going, that is where we are going to start. Like you can start from all the way down there and just know that the economy is really going to collapse or move, go on band, just because of the PMI that is going to give you such clues on how the market or the economy is really going to perform. There are the PMI is absolutely the one. Let's even do about. Let's even let me expand this more about the manufacturing, right? Manufacturing index. So for example, in economy, normally when the company actually is expanding, they are paying more workers, production materials, everything is really up. The cost, of course, after all, of course, it really going to increase inflation at the end of it, and that's why you see actual than greater than forecast is always going for the currency because of a CPI. So the end goal is the CPI, and this is a survey. There's about 800 purchasing managers is responding to rate the rate level of business condition, including new employment, production, new orders, prices, supplies, deliveries, and inventories. All those ones. Yeah, just simple like that. Just simple like that. So WTI is at 66. Gold has really failed us at moving all the way to the top level where we have higher prices. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a small buy position because I'm going to be targeting up. Then the market drops down because I don't think whether we have achieved our target. The market seems so, but I think we are still ending to the place. So we are 28 because we already touched 50. So let me try and just as more. Seems there's a trouble in the paradise. But remember, the biggest target that we have is absolutely this area here. So in case this market comes to this area here, which is around 21, I just saying the market is really going to bump up to that movement and move up from this area here where we have that one. So around 21, yeah, around 21. Let me have it like that. So this area here, this was actually our target in case this market could have actually come all the way to this area here. Now I'm still waiting for it market to move up all the way to these zones here. So we'll be checking because already the market has really moved down and our target was around 44, but the market touched 42. So is this market really going to be moving just like that? So when this prices actually touches this, then of course we have some considerations, and then we check what the prices will have done. The prices for the whole prices WTI is less than 65, so 64. Let's say 800 more 800 more points, then we are in. No problem. Wow. This is really great. Woo. What? 65.9, 65.9 WTI. The price is really ending to our place. So that is what we're really waiting for. And since we're getting rejection here, I'm gonna close this so that at least we may cover the losses that we actually made from the previous one. And I'm going to close on 51.20. 120 here, and then I just close the rest. So at least now we'll be have some profit that we made from that. That is really great, but still expecting these prices to move up all the way to the top, and then we really short this market. Is really amazing. All right. Yo, I'm not shorting gold today whatsoever. Hey, you don't want to have a short, even the way we're just having a very good nice setup at the top. You don't want to have that one. So the patience is the one that will actually help us here, because already this market has touched this region here. That is almost the area that we are waiting for. So when I said that you're not going to short the market, it's really going to happen. So when you check this market in terms of order flow, we realize that we have so many sell orders at the top there. So anything can just happen. So we're just preparing ourselves. Anything can just happen to these prices, because there are so many sell orders at the top. So that's why you see the prices really struggling to break all the way up. That is what really happening. So we're going to really give the WTI time, because I think when you just look at this, let me close, left, close. When you look at these prices, because I think this is our target now, I've already made some quite good amount of money right there already, because at least the prices have moved. At least we made something. At least we have made something from this with that small move. I think like $300 and one stop loss and one negative one net. So I think it's around $200 from this. That's just the scalping, because once the market approaches the upper side, we are going to do massive things, and that is selling all the way to from the top. So that is our plan that we're going to have. So Joki, is this your first time to be here? 99.9% of our entries has been correct, and out of that 99% of our entries, more than 90% have been sniper entries. So relax. It's really nice here. Oh, the music. I really don't know about this music. I think actually they matter a lot. I don't know. The most saying about the background music. I think Musa, we needed to talk. We need to talk. I think we end a discussion and we left a conversation somewhere, and then so that we can proceed from where we left. So, place in Yatuliati, I think we can resume from that place. We can resume from that place. We can resume.